But the reason the Biden administration wouldn't acknowledge the origin of COVID-19 is because Dr. Fauci, who until 2 months ago was in charge of all of this, needed the reason why the virus leaked from the Wuhan Institute of Virology to remain undercover. He needed that reason why to remain hidden, and he knew if he so much as acknowledged the possibility that the virus had leaked from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, the first question on everybody's lips would be, well, why? How did that happen? And he needed the reason kept in the dark. He needed that reason hidden because ultimately it was his fault. No, he wasn't at the Wuhan Institute of Virology conducting these experiments himself, but he was funding them. He was in charge of the NIAID, which is a sub-agency of the NIH. He gave grants to EcoHealth Alliance, who in turn subcontracted this research, this money, your taxpayer money and mine, to the bat lady, Dr. Shi, at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, who conducted gain-of-function research on bat-derived coronaviruses, which gain-of-function research juices up these viruses to make them more transmissible and more lethal to humans. This is against the law. This is against US government policy. It's not allowed. It's prohibited because it's wrong, it's dangerous, and it's unethical. Why? Because of things like this. Because even Dr. Fauci 10 years ago admitted that gain of function, while he said possibly potentially useful, has a huge drawback because there are lab accidents all the time. Things get leaked. Things aren't kept contained. And when people become infected with a virus that has been deliberately juiced up, this is the same thing as biological warfare. The only difference is the intent. That's biological warfare, is taking viruses that have been manipulated to be lethal against human beings and releasing them on the public in order to kill them. Well, what happened to the Wuhan Institute of Virology was the same thing, just without the intent of war, without the intent of human destruction, but the action is the same. And gain of function is the thing around which it all revolves. Dr. Fauci funded that, although they pretended that it wasn't gain of function. He denied it repeatedly to Rand Paul in the Senate, but we know the truth. Fauci knows the truth. Fauci needed to cover up the origin of COVID-19 because he knew if he so much as admitted there was a possibility that it leaked from that lab, he would be under the microscope. He would be asked, well, how did this happen? And we would soon find out what we found out anyway. Didn't need him to tell the truth. We found out anyway that he was partially responsible for this leak.